Greetings everyone! This is Josie from JHI with yet another exciting tutorial, this one involving the Firefox add-on Firebug. It's a little add-on that is an amazingly feature-rich tool that helps to edit, debug, monitor CSS, HTML, and even JavaScript live on any web page, basically on the fly. Now, since I've received a lot of questions regarding CSS and I use Firebug to help troubleshoot these issues, I figured it was time to put up a small video tutorial for future questions. So, to start out with, you must have Mozilla's Firefox browser installed, and you also need the Firebug add-on, both of which I have linked to in the comments for this video and on the tutorial page on JHI, and both of which are free. So, looking at this, you can see the campus login for Kaplan University, and I'm going to use this to show a bit about how Firebug works and illustrate an important point. Now, my particular screen may look a little bit different than yours, mainly because of the Skype that I have installed, which does this to some web pages for me. But I also have a dark theme. I like dark colors, dark themes, and as such, my particular Firefox is going to look a little different than yours. Don't panic. It's the same. But once you have Firebug installed, it is ready for use anytime you use Firefox. You can find it located in the bottom right window of your window, I should say. There's a little bug. I tend to call it a little bitty cockroach. If you click it, it opens. If you click it again, it closes. But in order for us to use it, we need it open. So go ahead, if you're doing this with me, open it up yourself. One of the biggest features about Firebug, like I said, is its ability to edit the CSS on a fly. If you want to know what CSS is applied to a particular web page that you have open, you do so by looking at the style box here, style button, style box. I like box, that'll work. And you hover over what CSS happens to be applied. In this particular case, Kaplan is using a CSS file called login.css, and it is located in the apps themes KU login page. Well, folder. Sorry. So, if you ever need to figure out which CSS you're changing to apply something, you can find it pretty darn simply. It's a nice little feature. Now, if you look, the body color has a strike through it. The reason for this is that any of the text on the page is currently being overwritten. That is a lot of what CSS is about, cascading sheet on top of sheet on top of sheet, so that you can have modifying elements, changing things, and how they appear, and everything else that goes with it. So, this strike through actually means that the black is being overwritten, and instead, the color, in this particular case, because we're actually looking at the out-of-school payments section right there. If you see, it's now gone blue. Another nice little feature of Firebug. We're looking at that, and we can see that it's not going to have the black color because the A-link element tells it to use this blue color, which is okay and can help. Another nice thing about Firebug is it shows you what color. So, that can help you out. Now for the fun parts. This is where editing on the fly comes in handy. Let's try some new things. Something I would never, ever, ever, ever recommend to a site. In fact, I stress it so much that I even hesitated putting this in because, honestly, if I see a website with this in it, it closes faster than you can believe. This even goes for ads. If I see ads like this, I hate it. But for purposes of humor, in this particular case, we're going to go ahead and change the text decoration to blink. If you notice, Firebug sort of tries to guess what it is you're doing with some kind of IntelliSense. And if you press blink and you press enter, you will see that all the links are now flashing, and my god, I wish I hadn't have done that. Anyway, it's pretty darn grotesque, and let's move on. Now, we have blinky things, and it's going to make me absolutely sick, but try and strive on. Go, Josie, go. So, next thing that we want to do is add a new CSS property to the A-link. So we're going to right-click and go to New Property. In this case, we're going to modify the font size. And this time we're going to make it a ghastly 32 pixels and press enter. If you notice, all of the text that had used it is now god-awfully ugly and 32 pixels. Go blinking fonts. And here you can have a look at it. See, you've had enough. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, good. Now, these are just a very few amount of the things that you can do with Firebug. But the last thing I definitely want to point out is if you want to see how a site looks without a particular kind of element and property applied to it, there's a little circle with a line through it. You click it, and that particular property of the element disappears. For example, we get rid of the font that they tell the body to use, and it changes. Say we want to get rid of the font size, but we still want them to blink. Amazing. Very important things to note. Now, a very important point is that if you change anything else using Firebug here, it does not change the CSS on the server. You must understand that clearly. It does not do anything like that. This is just something for troubleshooting, testing, modifying, editing. Obviously, I do not have access to Kaplan's main site, considering the fact that I'm just a master's student. So this just is to prove the point that you can still change things on the fly, but it doesn't mean you're going to have access to actually do it. Any changes you make here in Firebug, do not go back to the server and change it. So if you make a change here and then reload it, go, why didn't it stick? Well, obviously it didn't stick because it's not saving it to a server. It's just keeping track of it for you as a troubleshooting tool bug. But anyway, like I said, small amount of features. There is a lot more you can do with this. But for now, that's a small part. So thank you for watching. This is Josie from JHI, and hopefully this tutorial has been informative, if not cutely comical in some kind of strange Mickey Mouse kind of way. Have a good one.